Hi, beautiful beings under the stratosphere. To kick off the YouTube channel, we are going to be doing the topic of attaining the unexpected vibrations, whether those be high or those are going to be low. But sometimes it's completely unexpected. How did I get here? And I remember being here. What happened? And the whole purpose of this channel is to share my experience across probably the last 20 years of really documenting for myself when I was up, when I was down, when I was up, when I was down. And I thought there was like a natural trajectory until all of a sudden I hit a peak low, and then I was just wanting to recover and break even, get out of physical pain and get out of emotional pain. But then also I discovered the beyond, right? I attained an unexpected vibrational high. And not only that, I was able to sustain it over time. And I said, it was mind-blowing for me. I said, this is mind-blowing, and I want to share the journey, but I also want to share along the way the bits and pieces of what I did. Now, there are hundreds of us out there living the secret paths, right? We've had either our grandparents, our ancestors, wise friends, relatives, people who have guided us and have made an incredible impact, an incredible change for us in our lives. And those are treasures that you will pass on to your children and those you love. But now we have this miracle of YouTube where it's almost like we can grandfather other people's children's or help other people's sisters or be with other people's brothers. And I just thought it was a great way to share that. And then I realized, how did I do that? How that could become something that other people could learn from, and what would that evolve into. So the entire trajectory is benefit from the videos on YouTube, try to figure it out on your own, and then gradually see what else can I get out, what steps are there, what offerings do I have that I might want to monetize on, that's a honest, sincere investment of my time for you and your benefit in your life, to see, can I get there as well? Because I also invested and financed those things for myself in therapy, in training, in time, in discipline. Like, all of those things have such great, rich value. So I'm just going to break it down from the beginning. The whole point, coming down to Simon Sinek's book, the why. Why are we here? Why are we on this channel? Why are you watching the video right now? Was because I ended up in a sudden altiplano. So the altiplano is the high plane. It was about a year and a half ago where, throughout my training and the studies I was doing and the career that I had taken, I found myself continually waking up in a day that was, oh, better. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I feel so good. And then the next day I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I even trained better today. And then after a period of time, I said, what happened there? I have never experienced this kind of vibration continually. And then it would go from high and then break even into peace. And then just whenever I needed, and I was doing something, I would come out of the high and then I would just feel good. And I said, wow, I remember so many years I was in survival mode, just trying to come up to being okay. I was happy to be okay. Can I just be okay? Can I just focus on today? Can I make it through today? Right? So that was such a game changer for me, such a flip. So that's why we're here, because I experienced this plateau, and I just said, that's there. And I fell into it. I fell into the rabbit hole of my high vibration, and I tumbled down the hole, and I'm like, what's in here? What's down here? Okay. Oh my gosh. So I have 3 things that kind of took me there. I started out with yoga, then I ended up in pole training, and then I did a massage therapy course. And it is a combination, I believe, of these 3. And the 3, if you notice, are movement. They all include physical movement. So yoga was perfect at the time when I was going through that deep, deep low that I talked about. Because I don't think I could have handled a high in that moment. Like, things have to progress naturally. So when I was in my low, what I did need was just peace. I just need to feel, I just need to break even. That's already glorious, right? So when I started studying yoga, I noticed, what is it that happens at the end of the practice in Shavasana when you're laying there, that all the perspectives had shifted. Yoga was huge for perspective shifting. But still, even though I was training that and working on that, there were levels of depth that probably I accessed. I was doing therapy also at the time through therapy, but it was also, I picked up when my daughter was 2, but that doesn't give you a reference for you. So 10 years ago, basically, I started a little bit, maybe before that, I'm not sure, but I started the pole journey with one of the yoga students who told me they had experienced this kind of class in the country where I live. I'm from Bolivia, and we don't really have those kind of athletic sports that are kind of like more extreme or more from the Western side. It was just like new for me. I said, oh, I'm going to go try it. Long story short, I ended up training. After the first class, I was hooked. I'm like, what is this? I need this intensity. And so it was the intensity of emotions you have to face to execute pole tricks, or just to hold on as long as you can and then let go, and then hold on as long as you can and then let go. Like, I didn't realize that all this muscular contraction and release was balancing out all the chemicals that had gone wacko during the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. So all of that was getting repaired, and all I knew is that I feel great, right? I go to the training and I feel great after the training. And then we had a political situation in my country. So I came to the United States for political asylum for a while, and COVID hit. So then I became a COVID resident, and I said, okay, now what direction am I going to go with my life? So in the Facebook, God bless, there was these ads, and everything Facebook finds you, right? And it said, find out if your career is available for you in Workforce Ready Grant. And I said, well, it wasn't my career, but the link there was that during yoga, I took a yoga training here in the United States, and the modality for physical assists during the practice, they said it came from Thai yoga massage. So I looked that up. I did a few trainings of Thai yoga massage, and I really liked that. And they said if I wanted to advance and learn more Thai yoga, I needed a therapeutical massage license, massage therapist license. So I looked that up. At the time I looked that up, there was no schooling in Bloomington, where I live, to actually do that. So then I said, okay, how can I get this certification? And I waited a few years, and then I came back and I was teaching yoga here, and there was a place up in Fort Wayne, but that was a pretty long drive for me. And a friend said, she was a yoga student, she's like, I am doing the massage therapy certification. I'm like, no way, where? How far do you drive? She's like, no, it's right here in town. So then I put in the career with the Facebook and searched and did all the paperwork and signed up. And on the other end of this, I noticed since it was COVID, we could only work on ourselves and on our peers. So I got a lot of body work done on myself that time. And I realized it's the same intensity of benefit of pole, but this one is in the passive way. Because here I'm not doing it. In pole, it's all me. I have to engage, I have to do it. But here, it's nothing me, but all my muscles are being worked on and engaged just as strongly. You see that little there? Things you only see on the camera, right? And I said, what is it with the level of pleasure that the muscle can receive and the level of intensity and fear work that you do in pole? There was a mix of having both. And I think the exact balance arrived when I'm getting enough of this, so the body is feeling cared for, loved, worked on, continually getting sessions for myself. And then the body is having this, its own moment to shine. I heard this great example from Clark Kegley that I also follow on YouTube, and I loved his example. I'm not sure if he got it from one of his books that he reads, but he's like, dogs also suffer depression and boredom because when they're too long inside and you see them just kind of moping around the house, and it's because they were built for so much more. Like, you've seen probably a dog or an animal run and jump and catch, and they're just going, and like all their muscles are working, and it's like amazing. When I watch my little dog Saki run, I'm just like, wow, she's so fast. And I totally understand why when it's winter and it's cold and we can't go out, it's like her whole potential is just sitting there wasted. And I think pole, the extreme of that was like taking my body's physical potential to live the experience of the extreme of saying, you were built for this, you were made for this, you can do this. There is like the level of success. If every little cell in my body had a brain, like every little cell would be like, yay, we got to do what we were made for. So yes, I got to live this extreme. And then the other one was every little brain inside myself gets to be like, I get to relax in full, complete peace and have someone, rub my little cell for me. So I get to express my full capacity, and I get to feel that my full capacity is being cared for and appreciated. So these two extremes, just like the vibration, there were a lot of other things in there that we're going to cover in the channel, and we're going to find like step to step, a few things to meditate on, a lot of action and activity, like let's do it, let's implement it. I'm excited about that. But I'm going to leave you with these 3 things to ponder for yourself. So the first one was, when was the last time that you felt at your best? When you were on top of the world? Now, I invite you to do this because just searching for the information in this very moment will elevate your body's vibration. So that's my gift to you for getting to this part of the video. And so you are able to sit and live with that sensation for a moment. Look for a time when you were on, you had clarity, there was focus, you felt the energy, and try to be as specific as possible about it. Who were you with? What were you wearing? Was there a fragrance? And you can kind of keep this in your toolbox, in your toolkit, as your moment of high vibration. And whenever feel you're dipping down or the day is slugging or something, you can always be like, wait a minute, I can recalibrate and I can just think about my high vibration moment. You can still go back and work and process the other, but you will be doing it from this higher vibration. So I highly recommend that, and I leave you that to ponder. I got one more. Have you befriended your pain or discomfort? So in therapy, we learn to befriend it. So no emotion is good or bad. We just take it as like a friend that has come to visit us. And then you can work with it that way because you are not pushing it away. You're not rejecting it, because then how can you see what's actually going on in this friend's life? So you befriend it so that you can transition it. It's like an acceptance of transition. But in my question that I'm giving for you is, are you in a stationary acceptance where you have befriended the pain or the discomfort, and now it's just like, but that's part of my life and this is who I am now, and just me and my pain, you know, arm by arm, we're just trudging along, and we're just gonna, you know, you're like anchored in your survival mode, which at least you're surviving, right? You're not going under. But there the idea is, which one are you in? Just notice if you have kind of settled for that, or there's something in you that arises and says, okay, I'm ready to work through that friendship and see if I can transition what's happening there. And the last one, I said it was only 2, but there's 3. And the last one, as your own best friend, what would encourage you today? So what feels encouraging? What feels uplifting? What will let you end the video and you'll say, I have this to look forward to today? Because the whole purpose of exploring any of this topic is for us to end the video, end the session, end the thought, a place somewhere, even if it's 1%, but better than where I was when I started, just to escalate a little bit. So as your own best friend, because if you were the friend and they called you and they asked you, you know, I'm feeling like this, what can I do to just take me? Do I need to go buy myself a coffee? Do I need a nice long hot shower today? Just anything that would encourage you in this moment from wherever you're at. And that's all I got for this introductory video. I'm so excited. I finally got it done with all the nicks and snags in there. And I just want to close with a reminder that every day is your day to come back stronger. All right, bye. See you in the next one.